No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Player Podcast with myself and Ham Solo '05 Gaming. Got a couple things to talk about this week, but before we get into any of that, just like any other week, we got to talk about what we've been up to, what we've been playing. So, buddy, start us off. What have you been playing the past week?
Your resident brother is here to save y'all's ears.
Your resident
Absolutely.
Arn is here.
Oh my God. Okay. We're moving on. Um, but I mean, I tried out a demo of Eternal Strand, and that game is pretty interesting. It's
Eternal
kind of like
Strand.
it's coming to Game Pass on the 28th.
Okay.
There's a free demo that you can play right now on Steam,
I have to
and
look this up.
it's a pretty good game. Like I said, it kind of reminds me. It personally reminds me more or less of like Immortals: Phoenix Rising, but a lot more like indie-ish in the
Oh,
sense of like
I remember this
I
game.
don't feel like I don't feel like there's as much. I don't feel like there's as much flexibility in your character and like what you can do, like act like fighting wise and whatnot. But the amount of things you can do with the environment with your powers is really interesting and cool and to me kind of innovative. Right? Like
That's
so
good.
like I feel like what they got cooking is in the right vein. Um there's just some things that I was a little that kind of frustrated me while I was playing. Like I don't feel like the map system is quite there.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, I can get used to that, and I think once I get into the loop of the game more, I'll better understand like how to set myself up for success and go to the right places. And maybe it's like more like I need to like look for different cues or something like that. Like I don't know what it could be.
Mhm.
But regardless, I think it's a pretty good game, and I recommend you check it out and see if you like it for yourself.
I'm actually while you're talking, I'm gonna throw up. Uh, let's see if I can do this.
I've also been playing some other things though, um, so I've also been playing a lot of Ninja Gaiden, and apparently, I've also been playing Ninja Gaiden, and I guess it kind of seems like I don't know if cat's out the bag or whatnot, but a lot of people have figured out um, that that's something to look forward to, possibly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, like, I'm excited to possibly, like, we don't know yet. It could just be whatever. Like, I'm not telling anybody anything for sure, but like, I've heard that it could possibly that it should be a Ninja Gaiden game.
Okay. Well, I mean that's something to
But
look forward to. A lot of people will be excited about that.
but like I mean, I don't feel like I'm really breaking anything because it was assumed already in tweets that went viral.
Hmm.
So there's that. I mean, did you see the post?
I have not. I haven't been on anything today, so well, I have, but not.
It
I
was a
haven't seen the
few days
post.
ago, actually. It was like
I saw
Monday.
people. I saw people speculating after the whole a prominent um what was the word they used, like prominent or whatever Japanese game will be at the developer direct, and everybody was like, well, okay, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, no. No, there's somebody that made like a developer direct They made like a developer direct kind of like sketch kind of thing that like
Mhm.
sketched out Doom Guy, and it also like sketched out like pretty much everybody that's presenting. And the last thing it sketched out was Ninja Gaiden.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I didn't see that, but
I'll
that's interesting.
I'll have to show that to you if you didn't see it because that was like everywhere.
I could probably hop on
That's why
Twitter
I
real
haven't
quick and
really
find
used
it.
Blue Sky a whole lot yet, to be honest. That's one main reason I haven't really used Blue Sky a whole lot yet. Because I like the platform is okay.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a cheaper version of Twitter, which is fine.
Hmm.
But it's just like you don't really see that right away, that kind of stuff right away. I feel like you used to see that kind of stuff right away all the time, but you don't anymore.
But I'm also really not even on Blue Sky. I mean, I'm on Blue Sky definitely. Like that's I don't. I'm not on Twitter. I'm like definitively not on Twitter really outside of our group chat. But like Blue Sky, I'm not on the way I was on Twitter. So like I used to scroll Twitter often. I don't do that on like anything anymore. So like I just sometimes every now and then like this what you're talking about now, I just miss stuff. I just completely miss stuff. But yeah, continue. I apologize.
Yeah, so no, that's all. No, it was just kind of a realization that's kind of happening. I was just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, when I was on Twitter, I was definitely scrolling more and then also, therefore, seeing more. I was definitely a lot more locked in on Twitter. Say that. Oh, Ty, I appreciate you for stopping by in the chat. But yeah, the Dev Direct tomorrow. Anything else you've been playing besides Ninja Gaiden?
Uh, um, let's see. I started out Kingdom Come Deliverance because it's coming soon, and I haven't really ever got a chance to play that game. So I decided to give it a shot, and so far I'm right after the beginning devastating part. And yeah,
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at. It's
there you
not
go.
it's not super great.
Having fun.
It could be a super great game, but like I don't know yet. I'm just saying I like that's the last thing I seen. I don't know what it is with me ending up like at that spot, but I think it's because these damn like because we play basketball and stuff like that sometimes. Like yeah, that's the only reason I stopped playing at that time.
We sure
Yesterday
do. We sure
was
do
because
love to
of,
play basketball.
but I tell you, that's not why I stopped with Bioshock.
You stopped with Bioshock because it was so good.
Like
You just couldn't handle it.
I still need to play Bioshock
You
Infinite.
do.
It seems really good, but like
It is.
that beginning part really threw me for a loop, and I beat Bioshock 1 and 2 like back to back, like fairly quickly.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I don't know. I guess I just needed a little break from Bioshock, and watching that beginning scene didn't exactly make me want to rush.
Made you want to get locked in on some Bioshock Infinite. I
It
feel you,
made me
bud.
want to do something, man. It made me do something.
Made you want to
It
get
was kind
back
of
in the
interesting for
community.
the time, how people feel around, the country, regardless of like whether it's like true or not. Like it's kind of interesting to play that game like right now with everybody so touchy and feely about stuff. So it's
Yeah.
definitely it's definitely a time.
Yeah, that's a game that I don't know. I mean, I don't know many games that uh it's games that deal with topics like that, but I don't think I've seen a game deal with it quite the way BioShock Infinite does.
It is very forward.
Yes, it was quite in
It
your
was
face.
very forward.
And that's one of those things that, because I'd never played it back in the day when it originally came out, I played it a couple years after that. But I do remember when it came out, there was definitely some topics around what was going on in that game, and that was back in, I think that came out in 2013, and people were up in arms about it. If you release that today, whew, ugh,
Man,
that could kill a studio. That could kill a
it,
studio.
it could, but it also could raise it like immensely high, like depending
Yes,
on.
if it,
And that's what's so weird about like today's kind of culture is like it's like any given day one side can just say the right thing and everybody loves it, and then the other side does the right thing and everybody eats it up, and it's just and that's what makes it so hard to like really agree with anybody in particular because they make it so one sided. Like you have to, if you agree with that, well then you agree with this entire mass amount of people with
mm,
everything, and it's just like, oh man, it's really kind of a circle of nothing.
yeah,
Yeah, if you want to get nowhere fast, just do that.
yeah, yeah, I'm definitely not trying to be a part of any of those because it's just, yeah, it can be whatever. Rachy in the chat, appreciate you for stopping by. He says Ham has been, I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to say here. Ham has been throwing shit, TROWIN. I'm assuming throwing shit. I don't know. You've been throwing shit, Ham? What you been doing, bud? I don't know what that means. Uh,
I don't know.
but
I don't know, man.
I appreciate you, Rachy and Tai, for stopping by.
I haven't been throwing anything that I know that I know. I haven't been
um,
throwing fits. I haven't been throwing any food back. I need to throw some water back. Like I don't know.
dude, no
Like I don't
kidding.
know what it is.
I'm so thirsty. I need to get more water after the show, but in the meantime, I've got enough for the show. But so you've been playing a little bit of Kingdom Come. You mentioned Ninja Gaiden. As for
Space Marine
myself,
as well.
oh, you've been playing Space Marine. I did see you on Space Marine,
Yeah.
not too.
Me and the wife.
Oh,
I have two
right.
ham solos at once going. It's hilarious.
That's great. Rachie says at the
Well,
start
you
of
don't
Kingdom
have a
Come
Steam account.
Deliverance, you throw shit to a neighbor, and I do remember that. You throw shit all over that neighbor, all over that one guy's house.
That's
Uh,
great. I didn't know that.
oh, the start of Kingdom Come.
Yeah, I didn't do that part. I skipped right
Oh yeah,
past it.
there's like a part where very like right at the start of the game where like you meet up with your buddies and you throw shit on some guy's house.
So I met up with my buddies, and then I think I didn't realize what I was supposed to do, and I ended up talking to my pa, and I helped him out, and then learned how to fight, and then all that happened. So I never seen any poo flinging, unfortunately. I
That's
think I
too
skipped
bad.
right by that.
It's too bad. One of the most immersive parts of the game. It's funny though. But for myself, I mean, what I've been playing, dude, I gotta be real. I mean, outside of like we play basketball at least once every night, pretty much. I haven't been playing much of anything the past couple of days because I've been watching stuff, and I'm not gonna get into like it's in a show about movies and TV and shit, so I'm not gonna get into all that. But I've been watching stuff. Shout out to you, by the way, for the tip on Apple TV for 3 months off of PlayStation.
Yeah, it's
Um,
still available. Apple TV for 3 months. You just go to your computer and type it in, and you'll find it.
yep, it's
For
I know
three
it's also
months, Apple TV. Use a new account to Apple TV, and you should be able to get it.
yep. I
Or
also
or
know
if you have an account that you haven't touched for a long time, like I did, because I went to log in, and it's like you have an account with Apple, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had a iPhone back in like 2014 or 2013. I think it's 2014 actually, and
Mm.
yeah, but I never had Apple TV, so I was eligible for it. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
I know also if you don't have a PlayStation, Ty in the chat says Silo is amazing on Apple TV. Such a dope show. Boy, do I know it. Boy, do I know it, Ty.
Yeah,
You're telling me, bud. That shit. I tell you, Apple TV. Apple
that
TV
thing's a shit.
has ruined my sleep schedule for what 3 nights in a row. 3 nights in a row, I
Yeah,
haven't been able to sleep properly because of Apple TV. It's a menace.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Severance really
dude,
did some did a number on like it did a number on me because like I had to like binge watch and now
dude.
I'm at the first episode of season 2 and like I've kind of refused to really watch it yet because I don't want to say it's over.
Oh, you haven't
Um,
watched the first episode?
I've watched part of it. Like I've seen some weird
Oh,
stuff. Like the little kid, I seen that. That was weird, right?
yeah, I finished it.
Um, but I'm waiting until the episode comes out on Friday, so I have more than just that, so I can at least watch two, right? Because I
Yeah,
stopped watching it, then I went back to it, and I was like, oh, I only have one episode left. That stinks. And then I watched
yeah,
part of it, and I was like, you know what? I want at least an hour.
bro. Did yeah, I Severance. I mean, we talked about this. That's probably the that's I mean, I can't say it's the best because Lost season one is still always the best to me. But outside of Lost season one, which is pretty high fucking praise for me, I don't know of a show. You could say Fallout season one was fucking really strong. Um, Severance is there, and I don't like. I think those two things are kind of in a class of their own. Where like it goes like Fallout, Severance. For me, it goes like Lost, Fallout, Severance, and then whatever comes next. Anything else, but those three things are just the first season. That might be like the best first season I've ever seen of a show. I don't know. I was blown away. And I told you, dude, I sat down. What day was that? Today's Wednesday, so that would have been like either Sunday night or Monday night. I can't remember. But I sat down to eat dinner at like 7, and I finished the first series of the first season of Severance at like 4:30 a.m. I didn't stop watching it. So that show was a problem. Silo's a problem. I need to watch season 2 of Silo. I'll probably, well, not probably, I'm going to watch an episode of that tonight. Probably not watch too much tomorrow because I do got to work tomorrow, but then Friday it's on, Saturday it's on until I'm done watching. But I've mostly been watching shit recently as opposed to playing a ton of things. But the things I have been playing, Detroit Become Human, a little bit of Doom. Let's see what else I've been playing. Ori and the Blind Forest. I restarted that. I also downloaded this game off of Game Pass that I thought looked cool when they showed it, and I kind of forgot it existed. Was The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I want to try a little bit of that. I might actually do that after the show tonight. But
I didn't like it.
I was interested in it just because it kind of, the art style, like I don't know what the gameplay is like at all. I have no idea what to expect, so it's going to be interesting to find out. But
You might
I like
like
the
it,
arts.
but I
I like
didn't.
the art style. Sure, I mean, I'll find out soon enough. Honestly, Rachie
Yeah, I just
says,
didn't
"What
like
about?"
the gameplay.
Rachie says, "What about Master Chief season one?" I still haven't finished Halo, the season one of Halo. I know there's 2 seasons. I haven't finished season one. I just kind of lost interest. It yeah, lost interest. I just didn't finish it, to be real. Thought the first episode was really good though. I thought they kind of crushed the first episode. But second episode and third episode, I just kind of lost me, and I lost interest. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been playing. What I've been watching. We can actually get
You know what
into.
other first season is really good that it deteriorated as more seasons came along, unfortunately,
What's
was
that?
Westworld.
I
Westworld was phenomenal on season one. It was like it seemed like the show of the future. And then all of a sudden, like season two came, and season two was like not as good as season one, which I can understand. But it was like but it wasn't like horrible. And then season three came out, and I was just like, oh my god, this is rough. And yes, and then like I'm not sure if it got another season or if it just stopped after that, but I know that they're no longer making that show, which is too bad because the premise was amazing of Westworld.
yeah, I
Like it
hear
was like
Westworld is
watching,
really good.
dude. It was like it was kind of like a Red Dead kind of like seemingly feel with with I don't know, with real people in it though, like with people of today in it, like experiencing it. It was
Okay,
it's an amazing show, but it just it fell off hard. It
sure.
fell off hard, man. But yeah, yeah, I agree with you on Severance and Silo. The Silo was amazing. Severance is um yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I put it up there with Fallout for sure.
Yeah, dude.
I my taste in shows are usually different, but like I usually don't watch very many serious shows, but I've been kind of on a serious show kick lately. Um, and I blame that on getting back into Breaking Bad, kinda. So I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, because remember I watched all of Better Call Saul, I watched Breaking Bad, and then I watched El Camino directly after it.
yeah.
So it's pretty nuts.
That is definitely the way to do it. I need to watch. In fact, that's what I'll do after I watch Silos. I'll probably go through the whole Better Call Saul as well, because I mean I know it's too late now, but if you were lucky and you did notice it, there was a deal a couple days ago over the weekend, I think, for Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, or just you could just get both of them, $15 each, the whole series on Xbox. So like Better Call Saul was usually like $100 for the series. I got it for $15, and now I have it on Xbox. So I
God,
got to
Squid
watch that.
Games first season was amazing too, and I recently seen the first season of Squid Games and then went directly into the second season, and it was
Yeah.
like, man, there's been a lot of really good TV shows lately. It's been pretty nuts.
Dude, there's a lot of great TV shows. I just haven't. I've not kept up with them, and that's kind of why I'm behind. Like I wanted to watch Severance when it came out, and I just never got Apple TV. And I was like, okay, I guess it'll just be one of those things I never watched because I can't see myself just subscribing to Apple TV. But for 3 months for free, yeah, yeah, I'm down.
Have you seen the Eight show?
The Eight Show. What is that?
It's on Netflix. It's so listen to this. I'm gonna read you the description. It's ridiculous. It says eight individuals trapped in a mystery eight-story building participating in an in an tempting but dangerous show where they earn money as time passes.
That that that's Squid Games. Is that Squid Games?
No, it's the
It's
eight
the
show.
it's the Eight Show. Is it? And it's
It
on
came
Netflix.
it came out in 2024 it's on Netflix 4K HDR yada yada yada. I think it's another Korean show actually. Um
That's pretty.
yeah, because the names
Wow.
in it is like Ryu Jun Yeo Chun Woo Hee Park Jong Min. Yeah, so yeah, it's
Huh.
I think it's Korean. I don't know for
Man,
sure, but I'm
dude.
just gonna guess it is. And I'm interested in checking it out for myself. I think my wife already watched it. I'm not sure, but I thought she said it was pretty good. But I'm kind of interested in checking it out. What's that? The 8 Show.
That's
She
that's
said it didn't
hilarious.
grab her as well.
Didn't grab her. Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, I'm quite cautious about a show that just. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like that sounds like it just
I'm gonna
tries
watch
to
it.
do. It just sounds like it's trying to do what Squid Games did. And usually when that happens, especially when the thing that they're trying to do is from a show that that is so good, usually, not always, usually it ends up being pretty disappointing for me.
I tell you what, bud, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm watching it in English. It's gonna be
Just
fantastic.
gonna watch it in Spanglish. Feel
I'm
you.
gonna watch it in English.
Rachie
It's gonna be
says
great.
Marco Polo was his favorite show at Netflix, but now he's just waiting for Scissors 7 season 4. Is there a show called Scissors? I have no idea what that is.
Um, but since we're on the topic, Netflix did raise their prices
I
$2. Did you see
saw
that?
that. I saw that, but it's not raising the price, or at least if it is, I didn't see it in the tweet I saw, the post or whatever I saw. Because I saw they're raising ad free and
It's
they're
a,
raising
it's it,
premium.
yeah. No, no,
Uh,
no. They're raising ad and premium.
or not ad
I
free.
thought it was
Yeah,
ad.
yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. The 7.99 one, they're raising the price of that, and they're raising the price of the premium one. So I'm good as far as I know, unless they just forgot to mention that. I'm good because I'm in the middle tier for Netflix. Still kind of
Yeah, it
bullshit
has
that I'm
me
paying $16.
considering. It has me kind of considering going down a tier because although I get the 4K Netflix, a lot of these shows that I watch aren't in 4K. And like if I
Yeah,
watch anything live, it doesn't matter.
yeah. See,
And
like,
my wife likes to watch dating shows. What likes to watch dating shows, and I watch them with her. And I can tell you what, I don't need that to be 4K.
yeah, there's a lot of content that just straight up doesn't need to be 4K. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I do not need to see those people dating each other in 4K. Like that's fine. Like what I want to see in 4K is like The Walking Dead and like Lost, which isn't even in 4K.
oh my god, is Lost not in 4K on
The
Netflix?
Walking Dead's not even in 4K. No, no. A lot of this, like I said, a lot of this stuff
What's the
isn't even
point
in
of this?
4K. Like a lot of the stuff that is 4K is like movies and like really new TV shows and also new seasons of TV shows because you got to keep in mind like remember how what's it called God dang it what's that how Trailer Park Boys like it'll tell you that it is 4K but it's not until like season 10. You
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean? So
Not
it's
until
just
they
like
got those new
not
cameras.
really 4K. Like 90% of that TV show is not in 4K.
Yeah, dude, I did see that though that they're raising the price. I thought that was so because it's didn't they literally just raise the price like less than 6 months ago? It feels like they just raised the price, and now here they are. Like it feels like they
I
raised the
know it was
price.
in 2024 that they raised the price. I thought it was like 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 18.99 or something
Yeah, I
to
thought
like
it was.
20.99 or something like or $21 or something like
I
that.
thought they raised the price
No,
twice
it's like
last year.
23 or 24.
I thought they raised that shit twice last year. In fact, that's what it's felt like the past couple years is they raise it twice. It's like a given at this point, which is kind of silly. I don't know. I mean I know why because they're a company and they want money. But like, goddamn, man, y'all are really jacking that shit up over there. That's pretty nuts to me. But what can you do? I guess. Uh, dude, that's funny now. How much is it now? They say. Was it 24.99 now?
I think it's gonna be 24.99 now per month, and Yeah, I'm looking at this list, and Squid Games was 4K and HDR and whatnot, but that's gone now. Like it's over.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about possibly just shutting Netflix down for a few months and getting
That's
Hulu
fair.
back for a few months,
Bro, I can't
just
not
to
have
get
Hulu.
a variety back.
I can't
Oh
not.
yeah,
Who I was gonna say
oh, go ahead.
Hulu's like the thing I need for anything comedy. Cause like they got all the animations that like they got the shows like the comedy
They
shows that
got
I
King of the
watched.
Hill.
Yeah, they got King of the Hill. They got Bob's Burgers. They got the comedy shit that I watched when I was like kind of growing up that I still love. They got like fuck. There's something else on there that I was watching. I can't remember what it is, and I'm blanking on it obviously. But there's like at least 4 or 5 shows on there that I watch. Like I wouldn't say every night, but like a couple times a week I watch like 4 or 5 shows on there. Oh yeah, Archer's one of the ones I was blanking on. But dude, yeah, I can't not have Hulu at this point. Ty says Netflix will have 300 million users soon. Pretty impressive. As for the price raises, I ain't feeling. I'm assuming he said I ain't feeling it because I'm premium. Well, you be getting the price increase, or are you just saying you don't care? I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, premium is getting the price increase to I believe $25. So there's that. Um,
Yeah,
but
I,
yeah,
I might leave it and come back as lower tier until the next Squid Games comes out, and then I might like up the ante or something like, or if like enough shows are coming out around the time to go back up to the 4K one, because I do like to watch the 4K one. Don't get me wrong, like I enjoy it,
mm,
but I don't want to get that when I'm watching things that are not in 4K, or if I just ran out of stuff to watch. Like right now, I don't really have like I have The Walking Dead that I need to finish still. I'm on season 8 of
there you go.
11 seasons, so like I still have that I need to finish, and that's a lot of content. But that's not a show that I'm rushing to really finish, I guess.
One of the most.
They also
So
just came out with a TV show though for that. They came out with
I
a
did. Yeah, I
new
saw that. You told me about that.
yeah, it's called the Ones Who Live.
Mm-hmm.
And Michonne and Rick are in it, which is
Rick, Rick and
and it says they
Michonne,
after you use it
Michonne,
per they reunite. So
Michonne. Yeah, that's. I mean, I
oh
need to check
shoot,
that out.
there's a movie called American Manhunt. OJ Simpson coming out on the
Oh,
29th.
I thought it was gonna be about
How about
Hulk
that?
Hogan. Thought it was gonna be about the Hulkster. You had me worried.
No, that'd be American Nightmare.
He's a real
Nightmare in
American.
America. No, they probably wouldn't want to name it that because of Cody Rhodes. That's his literal
Oh
stage
yeah,
name is
true.
American Nightmare.
Yeah,
So
there
they
you go.
probably wouldn't want to ruin his reputation by doing that.
Have Hulk Hogan and Cody Rhodes face off for the nickname. Oh my god! But yeah, okay. Let's
Proud
talk about
America. How about that? That's good.
let's talk about some video games. Finally,
It's the beers talking. How about that one? The beers
yeah.
talking.
I'll tell you what. This has been the beers talking, and I'm not even drunk, buddy. But this has been the beers talking. So obviously we've got the we've got the Dev Direct tomorrow. We've already talked about like what we expect to see there, and I guess we'll talk a
We've
little
been
bit about
talking
a
about it for
little.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. We could talk a little bit about that at the end of the show, but like because there is like some stuff to actually talk about on that. I think I was in the party with you when I was talking about like there was some leak about a, a possible release date for Doom. Seems like we know what that date is now. In fact, you know what? Let's get that out of the way.
Be real. It could be real, or it could be the beers talking.
Or it could be these are beers talking. I'd never
It's
say
the
that.
beers.
I'd never say that. There's a beers talking. Uh, Oh my god, that's
I
so
would
stupid.
never say that it's the beers.
I'm gonna drop the leg on her, brother.
Oh man,
Shit.
that was
Oh
amazing.
god. That shit was nuts. I don't know what he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing, to be real. He's just saying shit. God bless him. But
That's smart.
dude, so yeah, let's talk about that, get that out of the way so we can actually move on to, like, I guess the bigger topic of the week, it seems. So Doom, the Dark Ages. Obviously, I mean, I would assume we're going to find out for sure tomorrow, but it was leaked. I think, what was the website that leaked it? It was Doom, the Dark Ages release date. Let me see. Coming from Gamer or Game Cult. I've never heard of Game Cult. And let me go to
Oh
Game Cult's
no, it
website.
doesn't sound good, bud.
I'm gonna go to Game Cult's website. I'm gonna find out all about them. It
They're
is
making
it.
games great.
It looks like it's in French. It's in all French. So shout out to them. I can't read any of that shit. Shout out to you, Game Cult. But that's not for me. But apparently, this website did leak the release date for Doom: The Dark Ages, May 15th, 2025. Obviously, this year. So May 15th, not that far off. I know you said that's about what you expect, and I think you even said it on the show before that
Yeah,
you would expect
this show.
May or June. Exactly. So, uh, I mean, I was gonna ask if you're surprised, but obviously not.
I
So
mean,
I'll
no,
say this: take
no.
the
I
take.
actually am the one that's in charge of the show, and I told them, "Hey, make
It's
sure
like
it's
you
there.
better make it. You better make it May
Put
15th, or I'm gonna
put that
break.
put that shit right there." That's what I said.
I'm gonna break Marty
I did it.
Stratton's knees. Don't make me do it. Don't make me unleash the animal inside of me. Is what you told him.
I said I want it right after Cinco de Mayo. That's what I said.
Oh my god, dude. This is great. So, okay, so then I guess take the victory lap because you did. I very vividly remember you saying May or June before the showcase. So it is seemingly May or June before the showcase. Not too long to wait, and it does kind of line up with. I think last week we did the whole when do we think each game will be released from the Dev Direct. So that does fall in line with that, by the way, as well. But I wanted to ask, what do you think about? Because I saw somebody post this, and I get where they're coming from, and they said that they're kind of tired. Not kind of. They didn't use the word kind of. They said they're quite tired of the leaks instead of like game developers and publishers actually being able to show things when they want to show things, specifically release dates. Because it feels like it takes away a little bit of the excitement when a release date leaks. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you agree with that at all?
100%.
Okay. Because, yeah, I saw it and I
Yeah,
agree
it
with it as well.
does,
So,
man. I 100% agree with it, man. I'm tired of people, and because this is like the first time that I agreed with that I've ever agreed with that dude from from Platinum Games that left. It's like
uh,
Miyazaki or something like that, I think.
oh, yeah, the dude who, like, would just ban people if you weren't speaking Japanese to him on, like, Twitter or whatever. He
Yeah,
would just
yeah. I
block you.
mean, he's not the greatest guy, right? Sure. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's not really, he doesn't have the most
He's eccentric, yes.
positive background. Yeah, he's a very eccentric individual,
Mm-hmm.
and golly, man, that PC talk is just fucking annoying. But anyways, but, yeah, um, he was right in this case, though. Like for um for these games that come out, like these guys have the what's a good way to put this? Management has a job, marketing has a job to do, right? And now that everything is in such a digital era, and people also have more access to more things and more ways to get monetary value out of such little information, if you see much of my drift, like you can get like people, you can drum things up on Twitter, and you're monetized on Twitter for getting a lot of likes and getting people to follow you, and who knows what you're doing in the background to get this kind of information, right? And to me, some of it could be slimy as hell, right? A lot of
Mhm.
it probably really is, right? There was a video of Doom that got leaked. Did you see that?
Was no, I didn't. I did not. But
So yeah, let
I'm
me see.
assuming
I
this
think
was
I
like
could share
today.
that to you real quick. Yes, this was today. I'm
Okay, well
gonna
then I'm
share it
gonna
to you.
look
You
it
don't
up.
have to. You don't have to see it. You don't definitely probably don't want to share it to people on
Yeah,
the
exactly.
podcast say, because who knows who wants to see that. But I'm sharing it to you right
Exactly.
now.
All right.
Here, or I guess I don't want to share it on uh, on Discord
Discord.
because you're using it right now. So I'll send it on your. Oh, what the hell? I'll send it to you on what is it called? Um,
Twitter or
Twitter. Yeah.
okay. All right.
I'm doing this at the same time, so I was trying
All
to
right, good.
do this, and I'm going like through all these wrong areas. Damn it! All right, there it is. So I just sent it to you. It is a oh, of course you says did not send. Tap for more action. Jeez Louise. There it is. All right,
There
now it's
you
sent.
go.
Um, so the title of it, which I can say, says more new Doom: The Dark Ages footage has been leaked, and it shows just like part of a cutscene with him,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks
Yeah,
badass.
yeah, it looks sick. I just scrolled through it. It looks. I mean, it looks amazing. And it does. It does, like Ham said, look badass. It definitely looks badass. So
But like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess sharing that isn't that big of a deal. I feel like sharing something like that isn't as big of a deal as sharing like, but it's still a breach, right? A breach is a breach. So if we're given leeway, then you're opening Pandora's box essentially, right?
Yeah.
So I just have to say flat out that I'm not really a huge fan of if something mistakenly comes out, right? Or like like really any kind of leak I don't really love, even the like an Insomniacs leak, like that stunk. Like I feel bad. I end up feeling bad for the developer, right?
Same.
And I
Yeah.
don't really love that because I know that I'm interested in the information, so I'm gonna go look at it, sure, right? And I'm gonna talk about and speculate about it because this is gaming and this is a conversation, but it feels like a slimy conversation,
Yes.
to be honest. It doesn't feel like we should be talking about this, and I don't feel like they really want us
Hmm.
talking about it. So like it just feels weird, and I don't really like and people are like, go check this person out and follow this and trust this person, and like I don't know. I feel like the world sometimes just doesn't make any sense because people will hype up things that they don't believe in at the same time. Like, oh man, this person doesn't miss. Make sure you check out this person. This person, this is my guy right here, and this is my leaker guy. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It like it was cool. It was cool when it was hard to do, but now it feels like people are just flat out stealing information.
Yeah.
And now
Well,
it's just not like the Grand Theft Auto leak thing. That was a
oh,
flat out
dude.
breach.
Yeah,
That was
some
a flat out breach.
of fucking historic proportions too, of like unreal proportions. That wasn't good, dude. That was
And then and
I'll continue.
I was just gonna say, and then the Insomniacs leaks, wasn't that a flat out breach as well?
Yeah, dude. It's like, and there's been in the past, I don't know, this, we'll call it just this generation, in the past 5 years, this has been a this has been a problem. Obviously, we're talking about like specific video games, but dude, remember that shit with Microsoft during like the FTC and the CMA and everything? Like their entire
Well, they
fucking
leaked their own
roadmap.
shit, didn't they?
Yeah, someone at Microsoft fucked around and did the hit the wrong button or something because their entire fucking thing leaked. Like everything. And it's one of those things where, you know, I get what you're saying and I kind of agree with it, to like it feels like a conversation we shouldn't be having when stuff like this happens. Obviously, we kind of need to talk about it cuz that's like the content we make. We make content about video games, and this is all video games. So like it's hard to not talk about it. And also there is, I mean, I can't speak for you, but I know for me, I would prefer if leaks didn't happen. I'll say that. But there's a part of my brain that when it happens, I call it morbid curiosity or just like general giddiness, especially if it's something I like, where it's like, even if I wasn't doing this kind of content, I can't in good faith say that I wouldn't watch it. Like that thing you just sent me. I'm not going to put it up on the screen to show anybody because I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But the thing you just sent me, I watched it. I watch like because there's a part of me that wants to see that, even though I don't love that it happens all the time. Ty, we're talking about leaks. Yeah, so you got it right there. We're talking about leaks. Specifically, I know we brought this up with the whole Doom thing. There have been some leaks around release dates and whatnot. But yeah, it's one of those things. I don't feel great talking about leaks when they happen, but sometimes, dude, like with that GTA thing, you really can't avoid that. That's something that you got to talk about. But like when it comes to a release date from Doom, the day before we're probably gonna find out, it's like you couldn't have just held that. You couldn't have just held that for like a couple of days. You had to really leak that. It was that dire. I don't know. It just seems a little. It just seems a little shitty. Seems a little shitty. And yeah, man, I feel for the developers because it's like, dude, they wanted to show you that on their terms because they had a whole thing to show you before they gave you that date. And now you just got the date and you don't get to see the thing leading up to the date, which stinks. Raichi says Abby leaks saved millions of players money. I guess. I mean, if that's one way to look at it. But
That is one way to look at it.
you
That's
Ty says
funny.
Ty says you can't hold it because it might be the difference between your channel doing really well that month or not. Here's the thing. I okay, I can only speak for me. I don't I don't know how to say this. As much as I want my channel to do great, and I do, just like anybody else wants their channel to do great. I I like this whole like the whole GTA thing when that leaked. I don't think I made a video on GTA leaks. I think we talked about it obviously on the shows and whatnot because everybody was talking about it, but it was like one of those things. I'm not gonna make a video about that. I don't want that video on my channel. also at the time, like Rockstar was, if you showed any sort of clip or screenshot of anything, they were getting channels deleted around that time. So that's another risk you don't want to take in that specific scenario. But like, I don't know. I just feel like if your channel is nothing but like, hey, check out this leak, and then like that's something, do that on like a blog post or something. That shouldn't be, I don't know, that shouldn't be your YouTube channel. My opinion, that shouldn't be your YouTube channel. And if it is, then God bless, do your thing, get your money, whatever. But that's just, I'm not particularly cool with it. But it's just my opinion. Um, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting question to ask because I always see that whenever a leak happens. Tyson's picture this. You and Ham have both have PlayStation leaks. You both don't leak. Ham then decides to leak it and jumps up to 12K subscribers. Next leak, you ain't snitching. You ain't talking. Bro, Ham's channel's already eclipsed mine. It doesn't bother me. Like I don't. It doesn't. Like it's. It is what it is. Like some channels have, like a lot of channels have more subscribers than me. Just the way things are. I've also got more subscribers than some channels. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. I just thought it was an interesting topic to bring up. Uh but no, to answer your question, Ty, no, I'm not. I'm not I'm not snitching. I'm not talking. So there's that. But the thing we
You
wanted to
lying, ain't
talk
snitching.
about, that's right. That's exactly what a snitch. That's exactly what a snitch would say. That's exactly what a filthy rat would say. Oh my god! But the big topic this week,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because we just talked like last night, and I was talking about doing shows and specifically this show and how it was an Xbox podcast. The main topic for today's show isn't about Xbox, but it's about PlayStation. So how funny is that? How that works? But PlayStation and live service, because dude, I know we talked about it a little bit on Friday, but the I don't know, when I saw that they were working on a live service God of War game, I I I cringed. I like physically I had like a physical reaction to that, and and it made me like kind of sick to my stomach. So I guess looking at how they're approaching or how PlayStation's doing or trying to do what they're or doing what they're trying to do, I guess, versus Xbox in the sense of I feel like Xbox and PlayStation are an entirely different like scenarios where I think Xbox would maybe not so much the last 2 years or 3 years, but for a point there, I think Xbox probably would kill to have the success in single player games that PlayStation has had, whereas PlayStation would probably kill to have the success in live service games that Microsoft has had and is having right now. So I want to pass it off to you. First of all, what are your thoughts on this whole strategy? Do you think this is the beginning of the end? Because this all starts with cancellations of live service games, like a bunch of live service games. Um, One from Ben Studios, one from Bluepoint. The one from Bluepoint being the God of War live service game. Do you think that this changes PlayStation's plans at all, or do you think they're still kind of full steam ahead trying to find that one thing?
Um, I definitely think they put some pause to what they're doing live service wise, but I still think they're pursuing it, just not as viciously. I think they're gonna make more, hopefully, smarter decisions.
Yeah.
Because what they've done. hasn't made much sense personally.
I mean, I agree with that.
I mean, their second and third party like stuff has totally made sense, but that's not decisions that they're making. That's just money that they're putting towards.
Mm-hmm.
So money that you're putting towards is different than money than money that you're producing all alone. And
Yes.
it's kind of weird, but like I feel like they're just having a hard time this generation with getting software sold by them themselves.
Yeah.
Like I'm not,
Seems like it.
and that's not me saying like all their software is bad because some of it's really good, but not all of it has really amounted to as much as they anticipated, which has clearly been the reason why they're wanting to go to live service, why they want to, um, you know, eventually go mobile, why they want to put more stuff on PC, go more closer to day and date. Like things are not adding up the way they like, which I completely understand. But that stinks. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah. It like so for me, I just sit back and wonder why we don't get like they've got a bunch of IPs that I think would be I don't know that they would like, absolutely take over the world if they made them into a live service. But I saw somebody in fact it might have been Jazz. It might have been listening to Xbox too last week. Said like because Ben Studios game got canceled, which was a live service, and I think he asked the question, "Why the hell isn't there a Days Gone live service?" Like if you're trying to make a live service, and I think the point he was trying to make is like use an IP that you have nothing to lose. Because I mean, obviously they don't care about Days Gone because I'm like they already came out and confirmed Days Gone 2 is not happening. The director of Days Gone hates Sony. It's one of those things like obviously they still don't have a problem using that IP in some way, shape, or form because they threw Deacon and Astrobot. So it's like use an IP you don't have where it doesn't. There's nothing to lose. Like if you make a live service game with Days Gone and it's bad, so what? It's a bad Days Gone game. It's not like it wouldn't be nearly as damning as if they made a live service game with God of War and it stunk because then it's like that's a big huge stain on God of War, especially if
Yeah.
there's reports of how much it costs to come out like and it's anywhere near like what they're spending on something like Concord. I mean, shit. That's not good. But if it stays gone, nobody gives a fuck. I just think there's probably smarter ways to go about it. I think Microsoft getting Call of Duty, not just Call of Duty, but ABK, but obviously Call of Duty being the big thing, and that I think that just kind of kicked them into hyperdrive, trying to produce literally anything that can compete in terms of making money. And I think Cozy said it on the show. At some point, you got to accept that you can't compete in terms of making money with Call of Duty, and it's not a slight on your company or anyone's company because nobody really can outside of GTA or something. Outside of like Rockstar with GTA, there's really nothing that can compete with Call of Duty in terms of just making money. So it's like one of those things. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I would hope that at some point they just realize, hey, maybe let's work on only one or two live service games. And
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but like it's just like I don't understand the rush to try to get to what Call of Duty has garnered over generations. Like it just like,
it's
to me that just doesn't
confusing.
make any sense. Because like catching lightning is in a bottle, you can't just continuously just run after catching lightning in a bottle. Like that's not how that stuff works. Like
Yeah.
usually it's just super random. It just happens, and it's awesome when it does. Like PlayStation's had lightning in a bottle situations, but it's never been something that they just did on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even them coming to fame was kind of a lightning in a bottle, lightning in a bottle moment, right? I mean, you did that without really having a first party, right? So
Yes.
that's something to like think about. But who would have knew, right? Nintendo didn't know.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
So yeah, this is kind of interesting.
Uh, Ty says the problem Sony's having is that they have nothing at all. Forget Call of Duty. Xbox has Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online, Flight Sim,
Yeah,
Forza,
that is true.
King,
It
Diablo
just keeps
4,
going
Diablo.
for Microsoft making
Exactly.
recurring money. Like like PlayStation has everything but the recurring money.
Hmm.
They got the fame and everything, but it's just like they're losing to the rich kid, but they're the poor kid with all the fame and the bitches and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just they got everything that they essentially dreamed of as like the rock star, right? But they don't have, but like they still have to continue to make a new album, and that costs a lot of money and a lot of time, and Microsoft is just sitting back there with the same album. The same album just pumping money. Just
Yeah.
crazy. On their platform too, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, that's the probably the craziest part is the fact that like those are all things like Sea of Thieves obviously didn't launch in the best state. In fact, it launched pretty like really poorly. But like obviously sticking with it, they got it fixed up and into the spot that it's in now. And even before they ported that to PlayStation, I mean, I think we'll all assume that it'll probably go to Nintendo as well, because why not? So if if it was if it was doing great before then, which by all accounts it was, then shit, bring it to PlayStation and Nintendo's only gonna make that go up even more. And you look at Sony on the other end, where it's like they're very, very traditional in the sense like, yo, like anything we make, we don't want it. Like, I can imagine putting the Lego Horizon game, or fuck that, for even like something like MLB was probably like, yo, what the hell? Was probably like a big moment for them. Like a big moment where they probably had a lot of pushback. But at the end of the day, both those things, it really doesn't matter what they think. Because it's like for MLB, it's MLB. Like if MLB wants it everywhere, then that's what's going to happen. And if you don't want to make it, then somebody else will make it. So, and then for Lego, it's like Lego wants it everywhere. So it goes everywhere. But like, they're just, I don't know. I just think PlayStation's a little bit too traditional for their own good. If what they're really trying to do is break into the live service game, because I think for a proper live service, dude, perfect example. I think one thing you could do that would be, I don't know that it would print money in terms of like you could endlessly charge people microtransactions for it, because it doesn't really, I mean, technically you can buy stuff in it, but you really don't need to, is Helldivers 2. Imagine how much more, just the shot of money that they would get from releasing that everywhere. And it just seems like a bridge they don't want to cross. They really don't want to cross that bridge. And the thing is, for a successful live service, I don't care how good your game is, you're probably
That's
going to have
kind
to
of a
cross that
bridge you gotta
bridge.
cross.
Yeah, you gotta just get over that hump and just do it. Rip that band-aid off, because if you don't, dude, you could make the most badass live service game, but if you're locking it to, like, what is it, the 60 million PS5 users, assuming it is a PS5 exclusive, obviously they want to do PC and stuff, and they've been pretty vocal about that with live service. So you figure about 60 million PS5 users. Obviously, not all 60 million of those people are going to be playing. You figure, what, if it's a really good live service, it'll be about 5 to 10 million people playing out of that 60. If it's really good, then you go over to PC and add another 10 million, 20 million, 15 million players. That's not bad, but it's not Call of Duty. It's not Fortnite. Certainly not Fortnite. It's good, but it's not good enough. At some point, you got to be willing to bite the bullet and open that door up, because that's going to be very necessary. And until they do that, I think they're just kind of chasing their tail at the moment, and I don't think they fully realized it. And maybe one day they will. But Ty in the chat says PlayStation only really has one core pillar. It's weak in other areas. I agree with that. He says, hint, Sony really needs live service to help bankroll their other games. Costs are rising. Last of Us 3 will cost more than 2, and it'll sell less profits. I also agree with that. And this is why, I think it was last Friday on the show, like, I was advocating, I think maybe you were as well, Ham, I could be misremembering, for
Probably not.
but I was definitely advocating for, like, shorter games, because I think it was you, Ty, who asked, like, would I be upset if Spider-Man 2
Yeah, he did.
was, yeah, was a shorter experience, and I said fuck no, I'd be ecstatic, because, like, dude, Spider-Man 2, like, I really enjoyed the game, and I felt this way about God of War Ragnarok also. More so about God of War Ragnarok, where, like, I love God of War Ragnarok, but there was, like, a period in God of War Ragnarok, like a 4 to 5 hour period towards the end of the game, about 75% through the game, where I'm just like, yo, why is this not over yet? Like, what are they really doing that this hasn't ended yet? And then finally it kicked into gear for the very last bit of the game, and it really started to make sense, and it was intense, and it was worth it. But there was like 5 hours they could have just cut out of the game, and I wouldn't have noticed or cared. And I feel like there's a lot of that with mini games. And this isn't just a Sony thing, this is just more of a AAA thing in general, where so many games have
Yeah, that's an
that.
industry thing, man.
Exactly, where so many games have that period of time in the game where it just feels like it's there to pad it out. And that's you think of what it costs to make a game. I mean, shit, I can't imagine it's cheap. You mentioned Last of Us in the chat, Ty. It can't be cheap to make a Last of Us. It cannot be cheap. That shit's gotta cost a lot of fucking money. If you cut out 5 to 10 hours of that experience, surely that would cut some of that costs. Surely that would. And I don't think people really would care that much. I really don't think people would care that much. As long as what you left in was good, and it got the story from point A to point B, and the player felt satisfied afterwards, I don't think they would care. I think a lot of people wouldn't even notice it, honestly. So that's another way to save costs that I kind of doesn't seem like the industry is very interested in. But, we'll see. But it is an interesting conversation, because I don't know. I got to see how Sony ends out the generation, but I don't know. This is, to me, this is the worst PlayStation generation, and it feels. I know a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people think that sounds insane just based off of how successful they've been, and they have been very successful
I
this
think
generation.
that's insane. I don't think that's insane. If you look at their history, it's just like the PlayStation 1 brought everything like to light of what it even is. And PlayStation 2, I mean that goes without even saying. PlayStation 3 was like the comeback kid,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um and it ended up having some games that are like definitely wished upon today. brought forward, Blu-ray, and like it did a lot of fantastic work on the PlayStation 3, although it just had like a really rough launch. But the PlayStation 4 put it back on, like put it like to the point where like you knew who was like like he's back, you know what I'm saying? Kind of shit.
Yeah,
And then the
definitely.
PlayStation 5 is just like it feels like an identity crisis.
Yeah,
Or not really identity crisis as much, because it's like they know their identity. It's almost like a midlife kind of crisis kind of thing going on or something, where it's just like you know what you're good at, you can't quite do it, so you're panicking to get something like together, and like I don't know, like I don't really understand why you're panicking.
yeah. It feels kind of unnecessary looking at it. Ty says, they would care because the Last of Us story is complete. What would you cut in Last of Us 1? Well, Last of Us 1 isn't the problem, Ty. Because Last of Us 1 is like a 15-hour game. That for most people, a 15-hour game is totally perfect. That's kind of the sweet spot. But like I mentioned God of War Ragnarok, I mean, if I just go to like howlongtobeat.com and type in God of War Ragnarok, I mean, I'm doing it right now, but I'm going to guess it's going to say somewhere between 25 and 30 hours. And that'll probably just be for the main story. I know it took me to beat that game probably about 45 to 50 hours because I was doing a bunch of extra stuff as well. Yeah, so right here, I looked up God of War Ragnarok on how long to beat. Main story is 26 and a half hours. Main plus extras, 40 and a half hours. Completionist is 50 plus hours. So, like, in that scenario, like, the story of God of War Ragnarok could be told probably in about, cut that 26 hours down to about 20. The story of God of War Ragnarok could have been told in that period of time. But they put stuff in there that just didn't need to be in there. It didn't feel like it was adding anything to the story. If anything, it was kind of making me a little tired. And it's not to single out Sony, like we just mentioned. This is an industry wide thing. So like whenever we get a game that does respect your time, it's almost rare. It almost feels wrong. Like like I know, Taya, your feelings on Hellblade. I know, I get it. But like you look at a game like Hellblade, that game probably to a detrimental point respects your time. Because you turn that game on, you can beat that in an afternoon if you really want to. It's not long at all. So like there's two different levels of extremes to it. Like on one end there's God of War Ragnarok where you could cut things back, and on the other end there's Hellblade 2 where I think you could add things in. But in the middle somewhere there is a sweet spot. And in that sweet spot, I think you'll probably find a way to cut some costs and make it so that we're not getting articles from some douchebag analyst who I saw another one of those things pop up today who's like, hey, maybe it's a great thing that games will be $100. Like it doesn't. There should be a sweet spot, and right now there's no sweet spot, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know how PlayStation is gonna do what they're trying to do, or even if they're still determined to try to do what they're trying to do. But I think we'll find out. Hopefully this year they have some sort of showcase that they can show us something. I know we just got Naughty Dog's game that looks like it. I mean, the trailer kind of sucked, but I'm hyped because it's Naughty Dog and I love Naughty Dog. So that's something to look forward to. But I don't know. I guess we got Ghost of Yote this year. That's something to look forward to, which is nice.
Yeah,
And Death Stranding 2. I can't wait for Death Stranding
that's
2. So
strange too. I think PlayStation is gonna have a couple other things to share that's gonna be pretty cool this year as well. I think they know that the last couple years has been pretty sparse, and I feel like to have all as much bad news as they've had whether all of it's completely true or not, because I've heard that the whole recent Horizon game, there's a possibility that didn't get actually canceled. So that's another
Oh,
issue with leaks. Is just like people are just saying stuff, and it's so controversial and crazy that it's so easy for them to run with it, and people will run with the false thing without ever admitting that it was wrong. So they'll just hurry up and
yeah.
get all the views from being completely wrong and kind of run with it. They won't make another, they won't come out and start the show with, "Hey, I was wrong, you guys. Hey, you guys, you, you see, my bad.
Yeah.
I apologize," or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like, you never hear that from any of them.
Yeah, that's true. Uh, so yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I do agree though. That's something that leaks are just kind of problematic in general for the most part. Um, but that is one factor of it where I got to be real. I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know of like a moment or a time where I saw like this guy leaked something and then everybody like he was wrong and then everybody held him accountable. Like people for like a day will be like, "Oh, well, don't believe that guy because he was wrong." But then as soon as that day's over, everybody just forgets, and then he comes out with another leak later, and everybody's like, oh my god, he's leaking this. Can you believe this?" And then and then if that, or God forbid, if that ends up being right, then from now on, he's just the guy who's right. It's like, but he was wrong
Hmm.
that one time. But you
Yeah,
forgot that.
the most recent person that had a leak, like that literally happened. That like the most recent person that had like one of those leak kind of things. Like he was right about this current last one, but but like the previous year, he was like, "Starfield's coming to Xbox." Everybody bought it, and it never happened. So like this thing happens. It happened this week, and or no, not this week, but like last week. And
Mhm.
everyone's like, "Oh, he never misses." The hell are you talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah, he does. He
yeah,
literally
he's
does miss. I can tell you the last time he missed, and people don't care.
yeah. It's all about instant gratification. It seems like, and no serious accountability at all. But I don't know. Ty says, "Do you think, due to the failed live service approach, PlayStation will have to put games like Intergalactic on PC day one?" I'll tell you what, I hope so. But
I mean, I
knowing
don't understand why they
PlayStation,
don't. Anyways, that's
that well,
stupid.
yeah, I'm with you on that. Like it to me, whether their live service was successful or not, like they could have had a booming live service. It could have been a grand success. I still think they should put that on PC day one because it's just more money. It's just more money for them, and it like once the game is made, it can't be like a staggering amount of money. It costs some time, it costs some resources and everything, so that does equal out to money. But it's one of those things like once the game is made, hand it off to I forget the name of the team that
Nixus.
they yeah Nixus. Hand it off to Nixus and let them work their magic and see what can be done and get it on PC as soon as you can. If not, day one. Like I don't see what the harm is in doing that. But to answer your question, I mean, I hope so, but knowing Sony, I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't see Intergalactic on PC day one. In fact, knowing Sony and the decisions they've been making, I'd be surprised if it was their day one. But we'll see. Hopefully it is, but
It really should be.
it
It
should.
really should be. There's no excuse for it not to be. I mean, to me, I mean, it's like if you're a fan of PlayStation, to me, this would be like watching your family member. They keep saying they're broke, but they don't want to like do. They don't want to make the money that's right in
In
front
front
of
of
them,
them.
like at all,
Yeah.
like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
It,
what it kind of feels like.
it's it doesn't it's confused. Like their whole strategy is confusing to me because it's like last year. What was I forget? I think it was Hiroki Totoki came out and was like, "Hey, we're going to be doing a lot more with PC. You can expect to see that. It's a big focus for us." And then I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. Maybe it was before that, but didn't Herman Hulse come out and like reassure people that, hey guys, we're not diving headfirst into PC. Don't worry, guys. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's like, dude, you're saying two different things. Why are you saying two different things in like the same year? Why is that happening? Like, are you? Do you even know what you're doing, or are you just making it up as you go along? Because if that's the case, then I guess that's the case. But it certainly seems like that is the case. Because did they say one thing, they do something else. They say another thing, they do something else. It just doesn't. There's no consistency.
That's kind of been this entire generation in a nutshell, really. They won't put games on the PC. They did something else. They games will never come day one in the service. Well, games definitely came day one in the service. It just were not the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so it is. It's definitely like kind of. It's one of those. We won't see any day one PC games and then you get Helldivers and stuff like that, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
they're like, not single player ones. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is your message?
Yeah.
like, what are you actually trying to say right now? Because
And
it
then
doesn't
what?
really seem like you're saying anything.
And then what do they say when a single player one does come day one? Do like what's the thing? But not this. What is that thing? Because it doesn't. There's just no consistency. Ty also says, remember Xbox had to port their games because they needed revenue. Sony did live service for revenue. So now that live service ain't working out, the revenue has to come from somewhere. Where? I'm totally with you. I'm 1,000% with you. It should
You're
be.
supposed to come on the show today and talk about that this morning, but you weren't available, which was fine. And I saved the topic for whenever you can come back, because really, like that's if we could figure that out, then I mean, we'd probably get a job. But I mean, I just I'm thinking about like what else would you be able to dive into? You already tried like another piece of hardware that is VR, and that didn't work.
Yeah. Oh, VR. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that really
PSVR
didn't work.
2 was
That
kind of a disappointment. I didn't even get it, but like I was kind of interested in it. Maybe if they had the right games, and dude, I'll tell you what, they did not have the right games for me at all. But yeah, it is what
no.
it is. But yeah, dude, I think the where that revenue comes from is just like, dude, like bite the bullet, put your stuff on PC. Because here's the thing, like I think we all get caught up in like we're the main player base because we're like the hardcore and we talk about it every day. But Cozy does a really good job when we're on the show on Friday. She does a really good job at like keeping things in perspective. Where
Yeah,
like we are not the main player. Like if you were to put
we're not even the main target, right?
exactly if you were to put like if you were to put God of War, Next God of War, or Last of Us Part 3 or whatever the fuck on PC day and date, you'd get the people on Twitter who, obviously outraged because, they're getting their engagement, whatever. You get those people who are outraged. Most people, like this the 75% of the PlayStation community who are just getting on after work to play some games of Warzone or Madden or 2K or whatever, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a
No,
shit that they don't give a shit that you're putting that on
not
PC.
even slightly.
And that's who you're getting money from, by the way. Those are the dudes who are cashing in, who are giving you big bucks. Is those dudes who
Yeah,
are just playing
because they don't
Warzone.
care about any of this stuff, and they just want what they can get out of the game, and
Exactly. And I'd argue that
that could be a lot of money.
even for people like us, the more quote unquote hardcore fans, like it could be something that a lot of people in the hardcore community push back on, but in the end, like I remember being, when was it that the Xbox did the whole initiative to PC? It was like 2015 or 16. I think it was their first game was like Gears 4. I could be mistaken on that. I can't really remember. But like there was the whole pushback on it, and I was part of the pushback. I was like, this is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Fast forward to 2025, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. More games, please. Because here's what happens. I buy a game on my Xbox, especially if it's from Xbox. But now, even in this past year, you've seen more third party studios are supporting it. Like Metaphor, I believe you said you bought Metaphor on Xbox. You can play it on your PC.
Right.
So it's like there are benefits to stuff like this, to having like an infrastructure in place on PC where you can release games day one, whether it's from you yourself as a first party publisher or from third party. Like there's definitely benefits to it, and I think like if you just dive into it, eventually the hardcore side of things will see those benefits, and the casuals, like we said, they don't care anyway, and you're still making your money off of them. I don't think there's anything to lose, but again, I don't run a multi-billion-dollar business, so I guess what do I know? I just think it's easy money, but who knows? Apparently, it's not because they're just not they're just not doing it for some reason. So
All right.
well, we will see, I guess, how it all pans out in the future, but hopefully one day they get there. But yeah, God, dude, we've been going for about an hour and a half, so not bad.
Yeah, for a
Uh,
hot minute.
But I think we're unless there's anything else you want to add, because like I said, I missed a lot of stuff today. I was locked in on Silo, so I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add.
Um, oh man, like I mean, I told you what I've been playing, so like, and that's like all I'd really add. I guess that, I mean, for for kind of recency, I mean, we've been playing a little bit of Call of Duty and stuff like that, right? So, they
Oh
dropped a
yeah,
new map in Call of Duty Zombies, which is pretty interesting. I'm sure Bill's gonna be pretty excited to see that.
mm-hmm.
Let me see any other things I wanted to touch on. BioWare is supposedly assisting on the next Battlefield, which is a big deal.
That's interesting.
Um, looks like they're going back to, and it also seems like they're going back to destruction.
Thank God, thank God, man.
Um, when I was listening to a video that was talking about what they're all thinking about over there, and destruction was a big one, and kind of lore and story was another one that was pretty big. And also kind of bringing it back to having like smaller maps with more engagement instead of massive maps just to have a large amount of people on it that don't ever really get to fight each other.
You play half the game and you don't even see half the enemy team.
Exactly.
One of those type of things. They just throw a tornado in there just for the fuck of it and tell everybody have fun.
Yeah. Sega also launched a new kind of like Sega account thing where you can, where it's pretty much like a rewards program for Sega games, especially ones that are
Mm,
online.
I saw that.
Um, Doom. Oh yeah, we already talked about Doom. Phantom Blade Zero had some gameplay that they showed off, and the game looks good, but it also doesn't look like the first time they showed it off, which maybe my expectations were too high for that, but I thought somebody tried to tell me that it was gameplay and it wasn't. So,
Oh,
but it does look fantastic though. It looks really good. They have like choreographed enemies that are fighting you, and they're not like dancing or anything, but like they're pretty much like getting ready, like they're all striking you at the same time. It looks pretty cool.
yeah.
It's something I haven't really seen.
I saw some of the details. I don't think. Well, I didn't see the gameplay that you were talking about, but I saw there were some details where they like outline there will be difficulty selector. It is not a Souls like. Enemies don't respawn after you die, like or like after checkpoints or whatever. Like enemies, you don't, I guess, rest like at a bonfire and then enemies respawn kind of thing. So I guess they're trying to hammer home that it's not a Souls like. Because I got to be real, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, here we go, another Souls like. That's cool.
I, I think they're trying to make a point of that because like it's from a similar team, not like the same team, but a similar team as like Black Myth Wukong, right?
Hmm.
And they seem to be on like a toe, like kind of like on the edge of Soul kind of games, but they really don't want to be called a Soul.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, they really don't want to be called a Souls game. Like Black
Yeah.
Myth Wukong, they're like, we're not a Souls game. Like they really came out there and let us know that they're not a Souls game. But the thing is like they're difficult like one. So it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Like you're like I'm not an apple. I'm not an apple. I'm a green apple. And it's like,
Yeah.
all right, bro. Like
We're not a Souls game. We're just kind of like a Souls game.
they're playing not like us on repeat, like flat out.
That's not what we do, but we kind of do it, and it is kind of like it. So yeah, it's
It's
interesting.
kind of like us, but it's not really like us, you know.
Yeah, I have to watch that gameplay. But yeah, I saw some of
It
the
looks
info
good.
on it, and
It looks good, but it kind of looks as you'd kind of expect after seeing what they tried to show
hmm
prior, like the first time. I think it looks good. I'm not sure if I'm like gonna get it as soon as it launches, and I don't know. They don't even. They're saying we'll give you a release date in 2025. I'm like, hold up,
damn,
like, I'm not like I'm already like kind of excited. I'm not like completely excited. I'm only kind of excited about it. Y'all talking about just a release date showing sometime this year, like makes
yeah.
me even less excited for it. But speaking of games with swords.
Oh,
Wu Chang Fallen Feathers had the gameplay demo, like 8 minutes worth, and that game looks exactly like
Phantom
many other
Blade.
Koei Tecmo games. No, not
Okay.
not. It doesn't look like It doesn't really look like Phantom Blade. It looks more like um. It looks more like the game that came out on PlayStation, like Rise of the Ronin. It looks kind of like
Oh, I remember this
it,
game.
kind of looks like a little bit of a cheaper version of that.
I remember this because this was the thing. What's their name? I'm doing a fucking Xbox podcast. Xbox showed this game off first at their show, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah,
Yeah, it
dude.
looks alright. It doesn't look like something I need to play though. Like it's kind of like I feel the same way about Souls games that I kind of feel about like like Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Like I had a great time playing that, but I don't need to do that again right away.
Yeah, well, for Wolong, dude, I would have never beat that if we didn't play that co-op. I'd have never I played maybe like we beat that game co-op. I played solo maybe like 20 minutes of that game.
Yeah, I
So
beat the hell out of that game solo, and then I beat the hell out of it with you.
yeah, dude, I don't know those games. They just I
They
don't
can be
know.
frustrating.
They can definitely be frustrating, and it's also like I don't know, the genre just doesn't seem like there's nothing that stands out to me that says okay the game's gonna be frustrating. I've already accepted that, but there's nothing that sticks out enough for me to be like, I want to deal with that frustration. Because it all just kind of blends in and kind of looks the same. Like Wu Chang, like I know you said it doesn't look like Phantom Blade. I just watched the Phantom Blade thing, and I just watched the Wu Chang thing, and it's like different enemies, but it's like it looks like Phantom Blade to me. It looks like Phantom
Well,
Blade
yeah,
to me.
the world style, sure. But I'm
Yeah.
talking about just like the gameplay and the way it looks like it feels.
Yes. And like looks like that. Looks like Wolong. Looks like Rise of the Ronin. Looks like
Damn, bro.
looks like insert any other game here in the last
Don't
in that
say all y'all look alike. Don't do that.
but it's kind of it
Don't do that.
sometimes it's kind of true and they do look
Oh
alike
my
so
goodness. Oh my
so
goodness.
I mean
Stereotypes are crazy right now.
stereotyping before GTA 6 is brazy, can't believe it. But no dude, like hey, people are gonna buy them. People obviously love these kind of games, and so there's obviously a definitely a market for it. I've just at this point kind of accepted I'm not in that market. It's just not my thing. Now when Elden Ring 2 releases, even Night Rain looks pretty sick. But when Elden Ring 2 releases, then hey, I'm there. You let me know when that happens, and I can't wait. But in the meantime, all these other ones just kind of filling in the space between. It's just not for me.
All I want is co-op Elden Ring, and then I'm done.
Well, you're about to get it later this year. Night Rain looks pretty sick. I do want to see more of it though. I want to see
Whenever
exactly
we
how.
called in each other, whenever we called in each other playing Elden Ring, I absolutely loved it. The only thing I hated is that we had to do it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
why can't you just call somebody in once and just play
you know what we could
together and
do.
just run through things? That sounds fantastic. Oh, I already know where you're going with this.
We could do the seamless co-op mod, which is just you just boot up the game in seamless co-op and you just play it the whole way through.
That would be excellent. I'd be down to do
Um,
that.
but and I think we do have two copies of that on Steam because I'm pretty sure Mike bought it. And I don't know, I can't remember if you said you bought it on Steam. But I know Mike
I
bought it
did
and
not.
I know I bought it. So there are two copies there and let's be real, Mike's not playing Elden Ring anytime soon. So I think you're all good to go on that. I'd be down to do that. I got to look
I
up
can
the
pretty
video.
much play. I can pretty much play every game on there except Dark Tide and and Back for Blood, if that's even there. Those are like the only two things that I can't play right now because he is all over those two games like fucking peanut butter on toast.
Mike is fucking hooked on Dark Tide. Mike's got a
Especially Dark Tide. Yeah, Dark Tide, he has a legit issue with
he
that
can't
game, and
stop.
I'm kind of proud of him because I wish I could get into a game like that. Like I really wish I could, and I like the game enough that I could just stick to and only talk about and like the enthusiasm that he has when he
Mm-hmm.
tells me about his new armor and stuff like that. Which I'm sorry, Mike. Like I love you, but 9 times out of 10 when you're telling me about your armor, I probably don't care about it. I'm sorry. I
Yeah, I
love you
don't know
though.
what it
And,
is.
and the thing is like I know you care about it, so I care.
Yes.
Right,
I
right, right,
don't.
right. I care to hear you be happy, but like seeing it, like I only want to see you ripping and shredding things, like in like actually in battle. Looking at your jacket, I don't care about.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like I don't know. It's just it's funny because I'm very happy for him, but I'm just like God damn, because I know how much work he put into it, so it's like
Oh
I
hell
gotta
yeah.
acknowledge it. I gotta acknowledge it for bro because that's my bro. But all in all, like nah, I don't really care.
Yeah. What's funny is So I got the game up in the background, and I just happened to look over at the screen. The Cavs are playing Houston, and they're in Houston. And I just saw someone on the jumbotron. I can't confirm it, but I'm 95% sure it was Loke. I'm
Oh my
95% sure it
goodness.
was Loke. He was wearing a beanie like Tyrone Biggums, and
Oh my god.
he had a tan jacket on,
In
and
disguise.
he was moving his hips, and he was holding the glass. Don't know what was in it. Don't know what was in it. I'm not going to accuse him of anything, but
It's water-based lubricant.
he was giving people a show. I'll say that.
Uh,
God bless him down there in Houston doing his thing. We love you, Luke.
it's
Uh,
a water-based lubricant.
it's baby oil. It's some baby oil. Just
Uh,
got a double
man.
cup of baby oil.
Double cup.
Oh God.
Oh
Oh
man.
man. Okay, but
Uh,
yeah, that's. I mean, shit. That's the end of the show, guys. We've been going
yeah, I don't have anything else.
about an hour
Almost
40.
2 hours.
Let's get into the outros so we can get up out of here. Ham, start us off. Where they can find you, what you're up to. You doing a show every day. You've probably got something coming up tomorrow. I'm assuming because it is Thursday. And then
Yeah.
Fridays.
Yeah, I have the developer from Hypercharge, like Hypercharge Unbox coming on,
Oh,
or
nice.
I call it developer, but he's like a marketing guy, I believe. I just call all of those guys developers, like whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're responsible for helping put out the game, you're a developer, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I have him coming on through the game talking, and it's only 6 people that developed and put out that game. So it's like it's not like I'm talking about like Call of Duty where there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of people around the building, right? It's like he's like a centerpiece of part of that game and stuff like that. So he's gonna be coming on. That's gonna be around 2 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock Central is when that's going to be going down. And I have a show earlier that day that's going to happen just for a short bit. We'll just kind of brush over who he kind of is and whatnot, and also just talk about a few things to kind of get out of the way that I won't have time to talk about later. It'll definitely be probably like an hour long show, maybe an hour and a half at best. Um, just because I don't want to stay there and come back too soon right after. It
Yeah.
seems a little goofy, but
And that's going to be your daily
whatever.
show? Or your.
Yeah, the morning one, yeah,
Yeah.
the 2 o'clock one I had to set just um because that's good for my guests
Okay.
and whatnot. So yeah, check me out over there at TSWS Gaming's where I have my channel, and then if you want to holler at me, I'm over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at HamSolo05 Gaming, and then Blues 5, it's just HamSolo05, whatever the rest of that crap is.
Hamsolo05.bluesky.gaming.social.web.org.
Is that
Dot
really what it
live.
is?
No, it's not. It's like blues bsky
It's long.
dot
Might
social
as
or
well.
something. Yeah, it's a lot of shit. They add a lot of shit at the end of their ads for some reason over
I'm
there.
not
I
a
don't get
fan.
it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make much
It
sense
should
to
have
me.
been at B Fly.
At B Fly. Well, that not for you. They reserve that. They reserve that. I'm pretty sure Mike reserved that for himself.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
So fresh.
links to all Ham stuff in the description below. I gotta link your Blue Sky. I do need to set that up so that's linked in the description every time we go live. But
I
everything
have like
else,
no followers over there, and I never post anything really. But I'll definitely, if you message me, I'll talk to you.
yeah. So links to that stuff in the description. Check him out wherever he's at. As for myself, obviously you can find me here every week, videos every week, podcasts every week. Monday 8 p.m. Eastern. The L3R3 podcast. I don't know why I thought I messed that up. With myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. This show right here, the Two Player Podcast with myself and Ham Solo. And then on Fridays, you can find me on Ham's channel for Bullsitting, 4 p.m. Eastern. Probably the best show on YouTube. So definitely check that out. Again, link in the description. Sub to his channel and everything. Support him. That is the end of
You
the
can
show,
find
though.
Matt getting his swerve on at the local club.
You can find Loke right now in Houston. If you're near Houston, near the Rockets game, head on in there. Look for a dude in a red beanie. Just dancing. You'll probably find him. It won't be that difficult. But that's it for the show. We're gonna get up out of here. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.